Today, I would like to recommend a thrilling horror movie to everyone. Because of this movie, it made me hold a bowl of urine, and the atmosphere inside will definitely make your adrenal glands soar. Friends who are afraid of horror movies, please briefly skim through. Without further ado, please follow my explanation and savor it slowly. There is a kind of people in the world who specialize in buying various haunted houses at low prices, then using their expertise to clean up these haunted houses before selling them at market prices. They are also known as the homicide disposal specialist, and the leader of this team is Luke, responsible for negotiations and sales after the homicide disposal. There are also various assistants in the team, such as being responsible for researching the identities of various haunted backgrounds, manufacturing beards specifically for APIO instruments, and having a professional office staff member on the left wing responsible for searching for the burial sites of the deceased, as well as new female members. Susan is temporarily responsible for coordinating and maintaining the situation. However, on this day, they unexpectedly encountered a once-in-a-century 5-star haunted mansion. With a dedicated device, Big Beard only glanced at dozens of APIO suddenly appeared in front of him. Such a luxurious lineup couldn't help but make people feel cold. The owner of the house is this woman named Xiao Mei, who has just inherited her grandfather's house. And on that night, shortly after moving in, feeling so scared, he said he would contact Luke again the next day. After returning, Luke asked the priest to investigate the background of the house. Strangely, the priest did not find the source of the house, as if it had existed from ancient times to the present day. So the priest brought his beard to Xiao Mei's house, and they were preparing to personally investigate the background of the house. When Xiao Mei opened the door, they immediately explained their origins. Upon hearing that it was sent by Rook, Xiao Mei also invited the two of them into the room. Perhaps due to daytime reasons, the two did not see any abnormalities. The priest recorded every part of the room, but regarding the basement inside the room, Xiao Mei stated that it had never been opened and he was unaware of the situation inside. Upon hearing the priest here, they felt that there might be information they wanted below, so a few people opened the basement. However, as soon as the priest took a step, a terrifying roar came from him, as if some terrifying monster was hiding in the dark. But Xiao Mei didn't have any pets either. Regardless of what it was, the priest decided to go and take a look. After all, this was their profession. And carrying instruments. After turning off the TV and lying in bed, he seemed to have come to the operating table. When he opened his eyes, he saw a group of APIO surrounded him, seemingly ready to dissect him. I saw one of them holding a surgical knife and slowly cutting open his skin. In pain, Xiao Mei quickly broke free from her constraints and escaped from here under the ridicule of this group of APIO. Luke then found Xiao Mei in the rain and prepared to take her away. And just before they left, APIO on the window raised his hands one after another, as if bidding farewell to their departure. The next morning, Luke told Xiao Mei that they had not found the specific source of the house. However, through information, it was found that a neighbor complained about the weeds in the house before Xiao Mei's grandfather bought it a few years ago and entered the house. However, he had never seen this woman again since then. Although Luke had been paying attention to this house for a long time and was not sure about the specific information inside, he decided to take Xiao Mei with him again. What kind of house can be called a top-tier haunted house? You see, this male agent just came out of the house and was about to pull up a billboard. Fortunately, everything was fine. However, when he turned around, the woman stood up and just poured a cup of coffee. However, he accidentally tripped and fell. Haha. The man on the other side threw the sword to his companion. It was very dangerous. But when one of them shoots the sword out, I saw this cloud-piercing sword as if it had grown eyes, hitting the woman's eye directly. Due to the inexplicable death of her capable male assistant, the female agent was forced to find the specialist in charge of handling the murder and entrusted the matter to them. At the same time, we will be visiting recently, years ago, but hardly ever left a house. Although arrested, he did not admit his guilt, and the police convicted him through some indirect evidence. Immediately after, everyone took out the list provided by the female agent, and after comparison, it was found that the recently deceased were all on the list, indicating that there must be a problem with this house. And the commonality currently discovered is that these people all died due to their eyes being penetrated into the brain. At the same time, the interval between the deaths of several people is 3 days. Tourists infer from the individuals on the list that the next selected person should also encounter unforeseen circumstances in 3 days, but at this point, they have no solution and can only go to warn the next person on the list. So the priest found this man. However, when the priest warned the other party, the man smiled and said that he had only taken a glance inside. The priest suggested that the other party wore protective goggles recently, but the man mistook them for simple. He doesn't have any prisoner-like agony, he's full of arrogance and calculation. When Luke returned, everyone also learned about the death of the fourth person on the list. Big Beard analysis: when a man is stabbed to death, the peak energy in the room reaches its peak. Luke's analysis suggests that it should be a demon known as a Clockmaster, who would repeatedly do very evil things, but everyone needs to investigate thoroughly as soon as possible and find the next victim. No matter what method is used, we must ensure his safety. But the priest said that the signature on the next list was too casual to distinguish who it was. They may need to crack the email of that mail agent to know who he is. Afterwards, after the priest's investigation of the landlady, he told the dear guest that in 1969, there was a girl named Margaret who was in the same school as the landlady. At that time, Margaret had one. Big Beard: how much time is left until the next death? Big Beard said that based on the peak energy, there are about 4 hours left, which means that Xiaomei cannot leave here during these 4 hours and needs to clean up all sharp things in the room. At the same time, the priest also stated that the landlady may be the clockmaker, who will select the next target through his eyes and kill them according to the list in time. If the process is disrupted or reversed, it may disrupt his spiritual power. But after listening to it, Xiaomei said that it was too mysterious. He had never seen the other person before, so how could he be targeted by them? Besides, Luke said he was not sure why the other party was doing this. Anyway, Xiaomei needed to stay here, but she took advantage of everyone's lack of attention and left. Turns out today was the last day of his professional endocrinology experiment, and he told Luke that he had to go over there. Although Luke said it was related to his life, Xiaomei, instantly disorganized, then collapsed straight down. It turned out that all of this was directed by Luke. When they knew that breaking the rules and order of the clock would probably stop everything, everyone acted together in a scene. They just needed to deceive each other's eyes. Fortunately, in the end, everyone succeeded. After breaking this order of rules, Zhong Jiaojian is like a computer that has been programmed, always in the process of searching for answers. If he cannot find the answer, he cannot harm the next person. The people who returned to the company began celebrating this victory. Not only did it solve the problem perfectly, but they also managed to clean up the house and earn a portion of the cost. However, the company's alarm suddenly sounded. What is there? Luling was instantly purified. The people who returned to the company were preparing to celebrate and successfully completed another order, but the company suddenly sounded an alarm. It turned out that the evil spirit had quietly followed them. Luke immediately instructed the left wing to quickly close the doors and windows of the company to prevent evil spirits from going out and causing harm to the world. After closing the doors, windows, and alarms, everyone began to discuss the information of the evil spirits. This guy doesn't seem to have a body, he can only move around inside a person's body. Due to the uncertainty of who he came with and the timing of his entry, anyone present here may have been parasitized by him. The priest said that this kind of evil spirit seems to be called a wanderer, belonging to the 5th level deformed evil spirit. Moreover, this guy likes to be possessed everywhere and can even sleep in the host's body. Even if he occupies the host's body and does something, the host is unaware of it. And Big Beard was certain that the previous evil spirits had been eliminated. I don't remember what happened, but he must have been possessed just now because after waking up, he saw that all the tools had been damaged. Luke asked him if he had seen the left wing, and Big Beard said no, he didn't know if the evil spirit had manipulated him to harm left one. Luke quickly dispersed everyone to search for Zui, and at the same time called Xiaomei to help bring a wall-breaking machine over. Susan first arrived at the office on the left, but there was no one here. After Susan left, Zui slowly climbed down from the wall. He came to the computer, his dark pupils indicating that the ominous bell had been attached to him. He looked at one haunted house after another, as if searching for a suitable place for himself. Everyone returned to the hall again, but they did not find any trace of the left wing. Susan asked Beard to think carefully about whether he had taken action on the left wing. At this moment, the left wing, mouse and the mouse screw this. It turned out that the evil spirit had a crush on Xiaomei's house. When Susan grabbed the left one's neck, Luke quickly pulled him away, and then the evil spirit transferred to Luke's body. At a critical moment, Big Beard picked up the wall-breaking machine and aimed it at the evil spirit. So, Beard told the priest that the evil spirit had been completely shattered by the modified wall-breaking machine. After waking up, Luke asked the priest to open the panel measuring the Ganoderma lucidum and saw that there was no suspicious energy display on it, as if This house is called a 5-star haunted mansion, and it is said that Apao inside can hold hands and circle the earth because there is a passage connecting the area inside the house, which Apao can use to travel back and forth between the yin and yang realms. Fortunately, Luke, the handler of the haunted house, ultimately sealed off this passage. Little did he know that his action caused Apao outside to wander inside the house all alone. The owner of the house, Xiaomei, returned here again due to the possession of evil spirits. As he couldn't remember what happened last night, he quickly contacted the police officer at the haunted house, and Susan rushed here as well. He looked at Xiaomei's graffiti on the table, unsure if there were 3 wandering evil spirits. However, when he turned to ask Xiaomei, every day, Big Beard arrived at this house, holding an instrument ready to measure whether the rover had really been solved. However, a ghost suddenly appeared behind, and then the instrument index suddenly soared to its highest point. Luke, who had lost contact with Beard, also came to the house. However, when he was about to open the door and enter, the next morning, when Luke woke up, he saw Xiaomei guarding him all the time. Luke asked Xiaomei if she had any news about Big Beard, and Xiaomei said she hadn't. The left wing on the other side also came to the door of the house because they were worried about the safety of Big Beard. However, when he was about to open the door, a ghost suddenly appeared behind the glass door, and the other party shouted to Zui not to enter the house. After waiting for everyone to enter, they had not been walking long before they heard a strange sound. The group of people who felt uncomfortable quickly walked forward, and a group of undead spirits followed closely behind. Just as a few people were about to reach the entrance of the haunted house, suddenly Luke on the other side received a message from the priest for himself. The priest had previously told Luke that he had accidentally found this haunted house and had a significant connection with Luke. When Luke saw the content inside, he quickly drove again to this haunted house. He, who had just recovered from his illness, still looked at the door with some fear, but this time, the door automatically opened. Luke immediately walked in, but as he walked inside, he didn't see a ghost. When he was sitting on a chair, a strange old man suddenly appeared across from him. This night, the old man only gained powerful power. He enjoys chaos and craves regret, using it as a source of nourishment. Subsequently, the old man expressed, "This woman is Luke's neighbor who walked into this place many years ago, and also Luke's biological mother." However, Luke seemed to know something and did not show any surprise, and asked them why they pushed him off the front line last night. The old man said he thinks Luke is an elusive opponent and naturally possesses special talents and abilities. But today their friends were all trapped here, so they also let Luke in. Luke heard that others were also here, so he threatened him not to harm his friends. The old man reassured Luke, saying that those people were enjoying a long-lost reunion. Watching. At the channel, prepare to cut open the sealed chain. At the same time, the spirits of the deceased were prepared to attack them under the guidance of the old man, and the woman took advantage of Luke's lack of attention and directly grabbed his neck. At this critical moment, everyone finally cut off the chain of the sealing channel, and when the lid was opened, they came in. Come on, get off.